Honey Bunches of Oats. Huge.
Honey Bunches of Oats is good.
As an adult, huge.
Yeah. The honey Bunches of Oats with little chunks of like dark chocolate is top tier.
Yeah.
Special K.
Oreo O's. Those
Oreo
are
O's.
I don't know if you were like sentient when those came out.
I was not sentient, but I was told that I ate them a lot, and I did eat like a whole box to myself when they came out again, like 5 years ago.
Raisin Bran. I love Raisin Bran.
I don't like raisins.
Damn, is that it?
They've got to have more than that. Wasn't Cookie Crisp on that list?
No.
No? Is Cookie Crisp Kellogg's?
You know, I think it might be Kellogg's.
Yeah, because I remember commercials where the wolf interacts with, like, the Trix rabbit.
Yeah. Well, nowadays everything is just, like, something. There's Berry Pebbles now. Oh. All right, you ready to record?
I've been recording.
Oh, you've been recording the whole time?
I've been in conversation about cereal.
Does it all look good?
Yes.
It looks normal?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Good Screen. My name is Russell.
My name is Jeff.
Your name is Jeff now.
No, my name is Lauren.
And today we're coming back with another episode of The Good Screen.
Yes. As opposed to any other podcast.
As opposed to anything else, yeah. Did you ever think about changing the name of the podcast? Because it's too vague.
It's too late now.
It's too late.
It's way too late.
What, 30? This is 33.
Yeah.
Oops.
We'll have to scratch everything and start all over.
I'll have to just start all over. No. I'm fine with the name.
Yeah, it's fine.
Today,
Why? What else would you want to name it?
I don't even know. I don't know.
I remember when we were talking about what we would do. We were going to do, like, what we're watching. So it'd be like,
yeah, but that's, like, even more vague.
Because then we could do a website that's www.www.
I think that exists already.
Probably.
That exists already. And that one was, like, too vague. And I was like...
Because The Good Screen is both TV and video game.
Yeah.
That was our goal, to do video games,
and
too.
And TV shows and stuff.
Yeah.
There was another one that we had. I forget. It wasn't that great, though.
Another name?
Another name. There was a third name. I'll remember it someday.
Someday.
All right. Well, today we are continuing our adventure through John Wick movies. We watched John Wick 2.
To John, to Wick.
Yep. We just finished watching it. And it's pretty early in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the opposite of... Was last time the late one? Or was it the time before?
I think
it was the time before. Yeah. Yeah, but before we talk about that, Lauren, what have you been enjoying on the good screen this week?
Sorry, guys. I'm still drinking my coffee.
Yeah, me too.
I'm still a little eepy. What?
I'm waiting for you to say what you enjoyed on the good screen.
Oh, you gave me a weird look. I have been enjoying Animal Crossing New Leaf.
Yeah?
I think I mentioned it last week, but I'm playing it
the week before.
During the lulls of my shifts.
Yep. Come on.
What?
Something new.
Well, I was going to try and watch Bocchi the Rock.
Oh, yeah.
But our Crunchyroll app was glitching, so I could only watch Lupin the Third, and that's not what I wanted to watch.
Okay.
And I watched a lot of YouTube videos this week.
Okay.
That's about it. I'm so sorry.
Do better.
Thanks. Sorry I worked a lot this week.
Yeah. It was a wild week.
What did you enjoy on the good screen, Russell?
This week on the good screen, I enjoyed two things primarily.
Mm-hmm.
I started watching Lupin the Third Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
It is amazing. I'm watching the English dub.
That's an interesting choice.
The English dub, I think, is new. Like, it's a new English dub, or newer. It's not that bad, and like the subject material of the show, it doesn't feel weird to be watching it in English. It's kind of like Speed Racer, and like it's an older show, so like a lot of people people didn't grow up with Lupin the Third in America, but it feels more normal. Kind of like a Toonami show or something like that. Where
like Pokemon.
Yeah, like Pokemon or Inuyasha. Or like Zoids, like that kind of stuff, like that. I don't think I can watch any of that in Japanese, just because. And Dragon Ball Z.
Hi Puffy Amy Yumi was also originally Japanese, and then
really,
dubbed. I think so. Yeah.
I thought it was made for America and then dubbed back. I think it was one of the first.
Am I getting it mixed up?
It might be
I know
backwards.
I've seen a Japanese dub of it.
Yeah, there's definitely a Japanese dub of it, but I think it was made for America.
You know, growing up, I always thought Teen Titans was an anime. But that was like dubbed over into English because they have the one Japanese opening.
Yeah, opening?
But
yeah.
It's just that.
It was just, yeah. When I was an ignorant child with Teen Titans, I called that one the Chinese opening. Yeah.
Gasp.
We thought that it was a rare occurrence when they played it. And I think it kind of was random. And we were like, oh my gosh, they're playing it in Chinese.
Oh no, Russell. You weren't cultured yet.
That and like another specific thing was the Sonic OVA, which was just called Sonic the Movie back then. And the credits rolled, and I was like, oh, this was made by Chinese people. I didn't recognize. I didn't know what God. I didn't know.
I guess you couldn't know. Yeah.
I just thought, Asian sounding names. Or characters I don't know.
Yeah.
That must be China. But
I similar to how I thought Teen Titans was an anime, I thought Avatar was an anime for a long time too.
No, but it was made to capitalize on it.
It was, yeah.
So Lupin the Third is an anime.
Yeah.
And I've talked about it way months and months ago now. I watched the first part almost in like a week. I think in a week's time I watched the first part and I was like, this is great. Yeah. It's like a new little adventure every time. The second part starts 5 years after the first part ends, where he goes into hiding.
Just and like all his in friends. One Piece.
Yeah, like in One Piece. And but it's 5 years. And they all get together again because someone like forges letters to each of them telling them to go on this giant cruise ship.
Ooh.
And it's kind of a cool setup, and then they all get back together.
Yeah, they all make out.
They don't make out.
Sure they do.
And the person's trying to kill him on the cruise ship, and then they wind up blowing up the cruise ship.
Great.
Naturally, to kill the guy.
Yeah.
And the guy's actually the villain of the first episode of the first part. Turned into like a cyborg.
Oh my
because
God.
They like fucking destroyed him.
Yeah.
And then the second, I was like, well, that was new and interesting. And if you remember me talking about the first show, that a lot of the episodes, like my favorite episodes, ended with them flying off, like and with their treasure.
Like Team Rocket style.
Yeah, like Team Rocket style.
Okay.
But they're like the quote unquote good guys. The second episode, I was like, it'd be kind of cool if they did that again.
Yeah.
Second episode, they store, basically, long story short, they store all their treasure in the statue of Jesus Christ in Rio de Janeiro.
What?
And they fly off with the statue.
Oh my God! So it's like.
So I was like, it's still good.
So good.
It's still good. I was like, okay, this is great. I love this show. And then I'd start watching the next one.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, great show. Really liking it. Really enjoying the dub because it's fun to watch how like not really great the mouth flaps are because very good. It's on Crunchyroll. It's not on Blu-ray. It's the only one that's not on Blu-ray.
Oh,
and I think it's because it's the most popular one, and there's probably like some sort of licensing thing. I just love that. Anyway.
Oh, I do have one other thing I enjoyed on the good screen this week.
Oh, go ahead, and I have one more thing.
You're fine. I did play Minecraft for a bit.
You did. You talked about that last week too.
Fuck. Okay. I also played like 2 more hours of Isshin. So now I'm like 3 hours into the game.
How are you liking that? And that's a big one. How do you like that?
I like it. I'm playing on easy mode, so it's pretty much just story mode, basically. Yeah. But I kind of appreciate that. I mean, the battle system is mostly just knowing the combos.
Yeah, just beat them up.
And and since we got like a pre-ordered copy, technically, even though it wasn't, it came with like a
the
code.
day 1 edition.
Yeah. So we got the code for like a super duper high level katana. So I'm just like one hit KOing everyone.
That's awesome.
But that's fine. But yeah, it's very much a story where you learn along with it.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say that about any story, but since I have no previous knowledge of the Yakuza universe, I'm just kind of learning as I'm going. And I did find out there is a costume where
you can just have the suit on.
Yeah. You put on the suit.
Well, the thing about this one is it doesn't tie into any of the other games.
Yeah, it's just the characters.
So in a way, this is either the best or the worst one to start with. Like, in my opinion, it's like kind of the worst one because like the characters are all named differently.
Yeah.
And like they're all, from what I remember, they're all based on like the character type that they are in the actual series. So you'll get a bunch of characters from like different games who are like dead.
Yeah.
All together in this in the same one.
I mean, there's a lot of characters I've already run into where I'm like, this was probably some sort of big deal character in one of the games, but I just don't know anything about the games.
There's an infamous fight in that game
in
Isshin where they're in the sauna. Did you get there?
Yeah, and you're beating up the big blonde dude. Yeah.
That's the like main villain of Yakuza 2.
I figured he had to be someone.
Yeah, I haven't played like
he was cool.
most of the games,
bros.
but I kind of know. They're bros?
After that fight, they became bros.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's another spin-off that's a zombie.
A zombie
game, yeah. It's on PS3.
Cool. Is it in English?
Yeah, it's in English. It came out in America somehow. I really don't know how, but like.
Well, it could have been. Zombie games were really popular. Like there was.
Yeah.
There was like COD Zombies.
I think they should completely remake that one too.
I would love that
because the controls are really janky and everything. But it is hilarious.
Yeah.
And he's in that one too. He's revived in that one, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's revived.
The big blonde guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is fishing the thing that you thought I'd be excited about?
No, you must have not gotten there yet.
Okay, because I don't like the fishing.
Oh no,
the fishing is hard. I can't catch anything.
No, can I just tell you in advance?
Sure.
There's a farm.
There's a farm?
Yeah, there's a farm in the game. So I was like, oh, Lauren's gonna like that.
Well, this is just gonna be my new farming sim game.
So yeah, well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I haven't played it yet. I was gonna get it on PC because. I mean,
you could play it on the PlayStation, just on your profile.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of in a weird game rut right now where I'm just kind of playing a bunch of random things for 5 minutes.
I'm just playing stuff when I have time.
Speaking of a game I've been playing for like 5 minutes.
What?
I started playing Metroid Fusion because that came out on Thursday or Wednesday.
Does she roll?
She does roll.
Okay. Does she crawl?
She crawls, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good, and it's like the only one that I haven't like. I'm like a fake Metroid fan. Like I played Metroid Prime, and that was really it. I'd never finished any of the other ones.
You played one though.
Yeah, I played one. I really liked that one. I
just like that Samus is pretty.
I never finished any of the other games in the series, but I have played like a little bit of each, like the original one and Super Metroid, and I haven't played Dread yet, the newest one, but I heard that one's really good.
Okay.
And so I've never touched Fusion. It's really cool.
Okay.
She basically gets like...
Does she fuse?
She does fuse technically with something.
Okay.
And like the lore of the game is really weird, so can I just try and explain it to you for a minute? And I know Will is a fan. I don't know how big of a fan Will is, so this might be a revelation to him.
Okay.
So Samus's suit was made by this alien race called the Chozo.
Okay.
And
the Chocobo.
They had to make her this suit because she was like an orphan and they brought her in basically.
Yeah.
And she had to like be in this suit so she could survive their atmosphere in their planet.
Yeah.
And they used some of their DNA in the suit.
Okay.
And the Chozo also created something called the Metroids, which was created to destroy this thing called the X parasite.
Okay.
So it turns out Samus goes back to this planet where she went in Metroid 2 to kill all the Metroids. Because they went crazy, basically.
Oh, okay.
And there was like an enemy there. She killed it, and then it turned out to be infected by an X parasite, and it latched onto Samus. So Samus like almost dies. They have to surgically remove her suit while she's like conscious because it's fused to her. Like it's fused to her body, basically.
The suit?
Yeah, the suit. Like how she can like instantly turn it on or off is like, I don't know. Sci-fi,
like
some sci-fi bullshit. Yeah, some sci-fi bullshit, and I love it. I love when like things that make sense like that. So, and then they're like, well, actually, we have this little bit of Metroid like serum. And remember, Metroids were made to kill the X parasites.
Yeah.
And
did they inject her with it?
They were like, let's give this to her, like it's like a vaccine, a Metroid vaccine.
Wow.
And it doesn't like cure her, but it makes her. It changes her suit. Like, that's why her suit is, like, blue and weird looking in this one.
Okay.
And she's invulnerable to the X parasites on the planet.
Oh, okay.
But she's deathly dying to ice.
Oh.
Because Metroid's the weak point is the ice beam.
Oh.
So any cold environment, like, you had to get the fuck out of.
Oh.
And that's where I'm at in the game. Well, that's the intro of the game, basically. But then you go on the space station that's, like, been eviscerated by the X parasite. But then you find out that they basically, like, somehow the X parasite can turn into or, like, morph into what its host was. And there are all these fucking Samuses running around this planet.
Oh, great.
So it's kind of like a horror game. They just show up. Kind of like in Dread, where like those robots are around, but it's just Samus.
Is Dread the one that came out last year?
It's the one on the Switch. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that one. I haven't played it, but I've watched footage of it.
Yeah.
Of the scary monster robot
spooky.
Coming after you. I don't like.
I know how that game ends, and I
don't like that.
It's insane. But this is basically like the same, not the same concept, but like similar in a way.
Adjacent. Sure.
And probably where they got the inspiration for Dread, which is a sequel to this one.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
I haven't encountered one yet, but I did see like the first one show up somewhere else on the map. And I was like, oh, that's cool. The only other thing I'd like to say is that the structure of the game is almost identical to Gato Roboto.
Okay.
Gato Roboto, which is a Metroid-inspired game.
Yeah.
Where you go through like 5 or 6 different areas of one space station. Oh, I remember
you playing this.
Yeah, it's like when I looked at the map, I was
really
like, this is where they got that from. And like art inspires art.
Fart inspires fart.
And fart inspires fart. But
yeah.
So Gato Roboto is a very good game too.
It's really cute.
Some of the visual filters are insane.
Yeah.
But like as in like hurt your eyes. I usually used they were named after like colors, and like there was like coffee and like cherry blossom and urine.
Ew.
I used
Was it really called urine?
It was called urine.
Oh, was there a poo-poo?
No, it was I don't know. I used that one though because it was easier on the eyes because the game is just black and white.
Oh yeah.
So I used the urine filter, and there was like a one that was supposed to look like the Virtual Boy, which is just red and black. Oh.
Ow.
Ouch.
Youch.
But yeah, Metroid Fusion's really good. I really liked it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna probably keep playing it.
Okay.
I might actually just go through the series.
Okay.
Become a true fan. Then I know everyone's pain when they had to wait like 15 years for a new Metroid game. Because if you think about it, Dread was the first. Let's see, that came out in 2021. That was almost 20 years since the last like 2D Metroid game that wasn't a remake.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
Sure. I mean, I guess we had to wait that long for Animal Crossing.
Almost 20 years?
Felt like it.
It was like 5 years. Was it 5? No, it was like 7 years. It was 7 years.
It was a lot longer than that.
2013 is when it came out, yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, well, I think I'm out of steam for that part of the episode.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and switch gears, and we'll be back with John Wick. Hello.
Hi. Hello, Russell.
We are the topic of this episode. Wow, I don't know. I just completely lost my mind there.
I am tired all of a sudden.
That was weird. Yeah, we ate a huge breakfast this morning.
Very
and
big
I think
breakfast.
just going back to sitting down is the adverse effect it's having on me. So
And we're being calm and talking
Yeah.
and slowing our breathing.
yeah.
I think that's why I always get tired because I
You
purposely
slow your breathing?
I slow my breathing when I do this.
Oh, okay. I don't do that.
I think that's why I get tired.
All right, Lauren. Well, we were talking about John Wick 2, Chapter 2.
To John. To Wick.
2 Wick. Yep.
Okay. I have the details of this movie.
Tell me the one sentence about this movie.
This is truly one sentence.
Okay.
John Wick is forced back out of retirement by a former associate plotting to seize control.
Cool.
That's one sentence.
That is what happens in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That is a good way to bring someone into the movie, I would say. That has seen the first one.
Well, yeah, you'd naturally
Without
watch
giving
the
anything
second
away.
one.
Yeah, without giving anything away.
Oh, plot-wise?
Lauren, I know you haven't seen this movie before.
Yeah, this was my first time watching this one. I'd seen John Wick 1. I've never seen any of the others.
I've watched this movie before. So can I talk about a little bit of personal history before you go into some of the details of this movie?
You may. I'll allow it.
I have fond memories of seeing this movie in the movie theater.
Okay. You sound so defensive about it.
Yeah, I do. This movie, it came out a week or so before the Switch came out.
Yeah. It came out in 2017 in February.
Late February. And then
early February.
Early February.
Or wait. I don't know. February.
Either way, it was in theaters the weekend the Switch came out. When the Switch came out, I did the midnight release. And then the next day, after noon or whatever, Will was still living in Harrisburg. Will Party.
Will Party.
And I brought it up to his house.
Your Switch?
My Switch.
Okay.
And we played Zelda. And then I think that we went to go see John Wick 2.
Oh, together?
Yeah.
That's cute.
And it was a really good movie to see in theaters. It looked really good on the TV, the color. This one was a lot better. They had a higher budget, and you'll probably get into that in a minute.
Yes.
But I have really fond memories of that weekend. It was Switch. We played Snipper Clips, and
because that was the only game out on the Switch for a minute.
it was the first weekend. There were 5 games on the eShop.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Hey, this one's really fun if you have a friend, and you only need one set of Joy-Cons
if you
to
have
play
a friend."
Yeah, if you have a friend.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I have a friend. I'm going to see him this weekend. So we played that.
I remember watching Game Grumps play Snipper Clips.
Oh, that sounds infuriating.
It was quite funny.
That sounds so infuriating.
I mean, every Game Grumps video is infuriating, truthfully.
Yeah.
But it was pretty funny.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and tell us some information.
Okay. I will. So this movie came out in February of 2017. I'm not going to Google again to find out which specific date. It went into development after the first one came out, because after the success of the first one, they were like,
shit,
we should do this again.
That's what they said? Pretty
much, yeah. It went into development in February 2015, so not even a few months after. Yeah. And they decided that they would transition John Wick to be a quote-unquote media franchise so that it would get more installments and merchandise and blah, blah, blah.
I think this is around the time the Funko Pop came out.
Probably. You know what? That does sound about right. I remember Funko Pops being really popular during my senior year of high school.
Well, Funko Pops were popular when the first movie came out, but I think he earned his Funko Pop with the marketing of this movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
The budget for John Wick 2 was $40 million.
Okay.
Do you want to guess what the box office turnout was for the first weekend?
100 million. Higher? 200.
$171.5 million.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Both of those numbers are double that of the first film. The first film, the budget was $20 million, and it earned like $80 million or something like that.
Yeah.
But this means everybody went and fucking saw this movie.
Yeah, I did.
Something that you pointed out to me during the movie was the rapper Common.
Yeah, he's in this
He's
movie.
in it. I didn't know who he was before I was doing the research of this because I just don't listen to rap, especially 90s rap.
Yeah.
But that's when he was popular.
Yep, he was.
Ruby Rose was also in this movie.
Everyone had a crush on her.
Everyone really wanted to fuck her.
Isn't she a lesbian?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Keanu was trained in Brazilian jiu-jitsu for this movie.
Yeah.
It didn't say why, but I'm just assuming for choreography's sake and also maybe doing some of his own stunts and things like that.
Yeah.
Which after learning that, it's like every single one of his fights was just jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Jiu-jitsu is cool.
This movie had an original song in its soundtrack. I did not hear it at all in the actual movie itself. It probably played during the credits.
No, I remember when he was walking out of the party, and I was like, this song's called John Wick Mode.
There's another one.
There's another one?
There's another one. It's called A Job to Do. And it featured Alice in Chains' Jerry Cantrell.
Like Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains?
Yeah. Is that not what I just said?
I guess, yeah.
Yes. Alice in Chains is Jerry Cantrell.
Chainses.
And this song, the lyrics were written in the point of view of as if it was John Wick, like his story and what happens in this movie.
Was it just like, oh, this sucks. I had to kill all these people. God, I just want to live my life.
I listened to it. I thought it was kind of mid. It just sounds like butt rock.
Well, I mean,
it's just like Gen X new metal or whatever.
But isn't that kind of like the tone of the movie where it's like, movie is kind of like butt rock? Not really, no.
No, I don't agree with that.
No, this movie is a little more highbrow.
Mm-hmm.
Butt rock would be like Fast and the Furious.
Yes. The UK actually censored this movie when it premiered out there.
A lot of headshots.
It wasn't that.
What was it?
It was when the lady slit her wrists.
Oh.
They censored that whole scene.
They didn't like that.
No.
Because apparently you just should never see that.
Yeah, I guess not. Do you want to guess what else came out the same weekend as this movie?
Is it a kids movie?
It is a kids movie. It's one we've talked about a little bit before.
Smurfs?
Not Smurfs.
Trolls?
No, not Trolls.
Minion?
Not Minion.
Despicable Me 3?
Not Despicable Me 3.
We talked about it, though.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what is it?
Lego Batman movie.
Lego Batman movie.
Yes, it came out the same weekend as this one.
I saw that too. I saw that, I think, opening weekend then, because I definitely saw that with somebody.
Yeah.
I don't remember who. I think it was John.
But I don't think we watched it on here, but I remember us talking about it with Michael Cera.
We did talk about it, yeah, because Michael Cera, yeah, he's such a tour de force, as they say. he's Robin.
And then I have the scores that came out the weekend that the movie came out. I don't have any explicit or specific reviews, rather.
Okay.
But on Rotten Tomatoes, it got a 7.4 out of 10.
All right.
Respectable. Metacritic, it got a 75 Metascore and an 8.0 user score.
Wow.
So pretty well received. And that was from its first 2 weeks is what those scores are from.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about John Wick. There wasn't too much fun stuff to find about the production of John Wick 2 because it was mostly just, we wanted to do another one. It
was a quick turnaround too, and even thinking about the third one, well, it
came out 3 years later.
The third one came out in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 2 years.
Even
faster. So I'll do the research on that. I know there's something on that.
And did you go see that with our one friend who also really loved John Wick?
No, I didn't get to see it in theaters.
No?
The first time I watched it was...
The third one?
Yeah, the third one was after it came out on Blu-ray. I watched it a morning before. Remember when I was getting up really early before work?
Yeah.
I'd watched it one of those mornings.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess the only other thing that I really have to note about John Wick is something that we talked about while we were watching the movie.
Okay.
Because there's that one chain of scenes where it's basically a shootout at a concert, and this movie came out about, what was it, like 6 or 8 months before the Las Vegas shooting.
Yeah.
So that would not be put in cinemas today, probably.
Probably not. And the first one had a club shooting.
Yeah, the first one had a club shooting.
Crazy, right?
And that was before the Pulse nightclub.
I think the third one is a little more... third one's more of an adventure movie. I just want to let you know that ahead of time.
Okay, I almost appreciate that because I felt like this one was a little over the top with all the action scenes.
Oh.
Which, I mean, is like... no, it's like the point of the movie.
Yeah.
And it's also very long. This movie's 2 hours long, so I guess it makes sense that there's just more in there.
Yeah.
But I thought the plot was a little washed up.
The plot is a little, like, out of nowhere.
Because the plot is that someone that he worked with before comes back and says, you have to do this for me. It is, like, our written law.
Well, yeah, because he... what is it called again? The token, the mark.
The mark.
He took a marker, John Wick, when he tried to get out. So let me kind of do a rundown of the story, or the intro, just if you missed this, okay? It sounds like you might have missed something. So
not really, because that marker was made because John Wick needed a favor from him when he was getting out.
And he was trying to get out.
Yes.
And he was like, hey, can you help me out with something? I'm trying to live peacefully with my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, yeah, sure, but you have to, like, do this blood oath for me. And he was like, all right, whatever. I just want to live a peaceful life.
Mm-hmm.
And then his wife dies, and then he goes back in. And then the guy who he did it, the marker with, was like, oh, well, if he's back, well, I should, conveniently enough,
cash in
I'm
on
going to
this
fucking
marker.
Kill my sister. So.
Yeah.
I should just have him do it.
Yeah, so then he does go and do that.
Yeah.
Begrudgingly. And, but
after
then,
his house burns down.
Yeah. And I guess because of how he burned his house down, that's why he wanted to go and kill the guy.
Well, he wanted to kill the guy because, one, he burned down all of his wife's pictures.
Yeah.
So, another attack on his personal life.
Did the cloud exist yet?
Did the what?
Did the cloud exist back then?
I don't think John Wick knows about the cloud. I really do not know. His phone was smashed.
His phone was smashed. Oh, that means the video of his wife is gone.
He tried to watch. Remember, he tried to watch a video, but his phone was smashed.
I didn't even realize that.
All of his shit was buried basically in his little safe. All that was gone.
Yeah.
His car was still at the shop. He couldn't drive anywhere. And we'll talk about that in a minute, I'm sure.
Yes, we will.
And then later on in the movie, he finds out that his goons are just going to kill him anyway. So that was like probably the boiling point of everything. Because if you notice, like Ruby Rose's character and the guy with the beard, they're behind. I wish I remembered his name. The main villain. They're behind him when he comes to his house.
His name's like Antonio something.
Antonio or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So they're behind him. So like they're with him, and then they're the first people to like start shooting at him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Common, but
Common
was
Common was the sister's bodyguard.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about one of the scenes that made you laugh.
Every time he walks somewhere.
So.
Okay, so John Wick canonically walked from New Jersey to New York.
Yeah,
and then he also walked from New York to Rome.
They don't show him. They don't do like the little.
They don't even do
like
a plane flyover. Nothing.
Yeah, it's just like like the little like text, and I kind of appreciate this. The little text on the bottom of the screen that says New York when he goes, because he has a New Jersey plate. He lives in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And when his house burns down, he just starts walking with his dog.
Yes.
And then suddenly it's the next day, and he's
walking
across
like a bridge.
the Manhattan Bridge.
Yeah.
And he's in New York City now. And Lauren was losing it because she was like, "Oh my god, he walked there." And then when he goes to Rome, it doesn't show like the plane.
They show him walking out of the hotel and then walking into Rome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we only saw him in a car twice, and that was in the beginning when he just immediately gets his car fucked up
back
again.
Yeah.
And then at the very end,
when he gets escorted out of the Continental grounds.
Yes.
So
and they drop him off at his house. No, not even that. He walks back to his house.
And then guess what? He walks away.
He walks away.
At the end of the movie. He starts to run. Maybe he ran to New York. Maybe that's why it was so fast. And then he just, by the time that the camera came back to him, he was walking and he's like, man, I'm tired.
Yeah, I just thought it was hilarious how he begrudgingly walked everywhere.
What did you think about the added lore to the John Wick universe in this movie?
I liked the expansion of it. I like how complex it is, but I mean, obviously they say there's only 2 rules. There's way more than 2 rules. It's just they only say the 2 rules.
Well,
but I did like how he went to like that gun shop and he went to a tailor.
Yeah, he went to a tailor.
And I turned to Russell when he was at the tailor and I was like, oh my God, they're doing actual tailor techniques. And Russell rolled his eyes.
Yeah, what did you expect them to do? Just be like, this is a nano suit. And then...
Well, no, I meant like when they were having him try on the jacket and everything. Yeah. They were actually...
Italian...
Tailoring.
Yeah. Tailoring.
Tailory.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that just surprised me.
I like how it showed that this is an international organization.
Yes.
Other than the fact that there were Russian dudes in the first one.
Yeah, that you just assume is Russian mob,
like
though.
Russian American, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, he went, like, I like how it left New York City, first of all. And how, like, there's different continental hotels.
Yeah, I did like that.
All over the world. Mm-hmm. And I did like the owner of the Rome one, where he asked him if he was there to kill the Pope.
Yeah, that was funny.
I don't know if this was around the time that all the, like, sexual allegations came out for the Pope.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, doesn't that always kind of just happen?
I mean,
isn't that always in the air?
That's always in the news. I think it was right before it, but I think it was a funny thing to say. Like, are you here to kill the Pope for... He didn't say it for being a pedophile.
Yeah, but...
Please don't... He was like, please don't tell me you're here for the Pope. And he goes, no.
No. There was another moment.
There was, yeah, in the beginning. With the guy who happened to have his car.
Yeah, it was the guy from the first movie, his brother.
His brother, yeah.
Because Theon Greyjoy was his nephew.
Right.
And because at the beginning he was like, oh, if only my nephew hadn't have killed his fucking dog and stolen his car and blah, blah, blah,
and then
blah,
the guy's like, well, who? It's just the car. And he goes, no, this is John Wick's car. And the guy goes,
says, oh.
It isn't as
and then John Wick, like, immediately calls him on the phone. He's like, I want my fucking car back.
He doesn't say anything.
John Wick?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, he does.
He does?
He says, you have my car.
Yeah.
Remember, because I was like, I like how the Russian word for car is machina.
Oh, yeah, machina. So, yeah, we're bouncing around all over the place. What did you think about... So we already kind of talked about the marker system. Or the mark system.
It's just like a blood oath.
It's like a blood oath.
Yeah. Although I wasn't sure at the very end when John Wick gets the mark from the hotel guy.
Yeah.
What that was.
It goes. I don't remember the third movie that much, but there's something in the third movie that's
about
related to that. Yeah.
Okay.
That's like a here. Here, we're making another one, guys.
Yeah. But the one other thing that I just remembered, they did announce a third one was being produced, like, right before this came out.
Right before it came out?
Yeah, they're like, don't worry, guys, there's going to be a third one, just so you know, going into this.
Cool.
There's going to be more. They already started production of the third one before this one came out. It was, like, back-to-back.
I think after the third one came out, they're like, yeah, this is actually going to be, like, 5 movies.
At least 5.
At least 5 movies. And there's supposed to be a Continental TV show.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if that's happening because they announced that right before COVID.
It might just be very delayed.
It might be delayed, but I think that TV show, they do the TV show right. Mm-hmm. And it's not like on like Paramount Plus or something. Although I do need to get Paramount Plus to watch Halo or just buy it, spend money on it.
Yeah. I think it'd be funny if you got like a steelbook.
There's a collector's edition of it. Yeah, I think that if they do the TV show right, that it will prop up the maybe make things make a little more sense with Antonio and everything.
Universe. Yeah.
I'd like to know more about the
council.
Not the council, specifically the guy at the hotel at the front counter.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I want the show to be from his perspective.
I'm pretty sure it would be something like that, working at the hotel and what you see there.
I just want it to be focused around him,
mm-hmm.
and it's just a single shot the whole time. It's just people coming in and out of the hotel. And I'll probably bring up something along those lines later. Like, there's so much interesting stuff that they can do with the John Wick franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, before I talk about that and like other stuff about kind of not really about the movie, what did you think about the Pigeon Man? Like the head of the homeless guys.
I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, it was kind of strange. Like,
I think I had heard he was in these movies before.
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne.
What?
That's his name, Lawrence Fishburne, the actor.
Oh, I thought you were saying something to me.
No. Oh, you thought I said Lauren?
Lawrence Fishburne?
Lawrence Fish is born. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
No, but I thought,
yeah.
out of context, like, other than the fact that he gave him a gun when he needed one, I thought it was kind of strange. Like, the cameo was cool, but I thought it was the only part of this movie, now he's in the third movie
that
too,
you didn't really need.
that it was, like, kind of bizarre, like, that whole little sequence.
Yeah.
And that was when, because we started watching this last night, and I was like, Lauren, I had to go to bed.
Because other than him getting the gun from that, you could take all of that out, and it's not really connected to... For now, and it's not really connected to the rest of the film.
I think it's something that they added to kind of course, expand, like, they were trying to expand the universe, and be like, okay, well, clearly... he's going to be in the third movie too. Mm-hmm. So it's the only part of the movie to me that was kind of like a bad mark.
Yeah. Also, I didn't recognize him from The Matrix because I still have yet to see The Matrix.
But it was really cool seeing it in theaters and like he's revealed. Like I didn't know anything about like who was in this movie, and yeah, it was a cool part. But it also like in this one in particular, it was kind of like an aside for like something for later. And you know how we feel about Marvel movies here.
Yeah.
So at least it wasn't a post-credit scene.
Yeah. I wish Willem Dafoe was still in it.
He's dead in this movie.
I love Willem Dafoe.
Well, maybe he'll be in the TV show.
Maybe.
Who knows? What did you think about the accountants?
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
It's really cool. Yeah. Like buff, not buff, but like shirtless? No, not shirtless.
No, it's
sleeveless, like women in like
sleeveless women.
Weird like
cubicles. It's like 1950s-esque
mainframe computers.
Aesthetic, but they have like computers from 1995 that send out text to everyone when a hit is on someone, and like the whole like book system and stuff that they have, and it's so complex.
I thought that was really cool.
It's like old school operators.
Yeah.
Is what they literally are, because I'm sure they're off every kind of grid.
Oh yeah.
But
they probably have wires all across the world.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was probably my favorite little piece of world building. I did
enjoy that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So overall, Lauren, what did you think about John Wick 2?
I didn't
Chapter
think it
2.
was... I liked the world expansion of it, but
Yeah.
I felt like the plot of the first one was a lot stronger than the plot of this one.
Yeah. The emotions were a lot higher in the first one.
Yeah, the stakes were a lot higher. The emotions were higher.
I mean, the stakes get pretty high by the end of the movie.
I mean, yeah, but it's just...
Sorry I scoffed at you. That was really weird.
It's okay. I forgive you.
Sorry.
It's just... The first one had a lot more feeling to it than this one did.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's really important for one of these movies, because kind of like with Taken, it's like, how many times are they going to take her? You know?
Yeah.
Like...
Well, this is kind of like an escalation thing with John Wick. Like, he just wants to get out. Like, he wants to get out of everything, but he keeps making things worse for himself.
Yeah. Because everyone wants him to come back in, but then when he does, they're
when he does, they take advantage of him. Mm-hmm. They're like, hey, you should probably just kill my sister, and then you can actually get out.
Wink.
Wink, wink.
But no, it gets much, much worse. Although, to be fair, John Wick did not have to kill him in the Continental, so...
Yeah. But emotions were high at that point.
You should go to therapy.
You know what? You're right.
A lot of this could have been
resolved in therapy.
Resolved if John Wick had just gone to therapy.
Yeah?
And taken like an anger management course.
Yeah,
He's
probably.
very rich. I don't know why he doesn't.
I don't know. Maybe like, you know, it's kind of alluded to at the end where it's like, hey, you kind of like this, don't you? When Antonio's talking to him in the mirror room, which that was my favorite part to see in theaters, the mirror room. Did you like that part?
It was okay.
What? That was the coolest thing.
I mean, it was interesting.
It was so cool.
It was kind of cliche.
When he shoots at... No.
Yes.
Really? I think it was done so well when he
I mean,
shoots at
I
the
think
mirror.
it was done well, but I think it was kind of cliche.
I thought it was cool.
Okay.
I thought it was
You're allowed
like
to think
that was my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
Like the whole like ending part of the movie after he like runs away and gets a bounty again, which is significantly higher than the last time.
Yeah, instead of 2 million, it's 7
million, and then by the end of the movie, it's 14 million.
Yeah.
Like
I would have thought the first one would have already been 10 million.
Yeah.
Because he's so notorious.
Yeah, but the mirror, whatever it was called, was so cool, especially when he walked out and like it kept zooming in and out because it was the mirrors that were opening up.
Yeah.
That was so cool. That was just really nice.
Yeah.
That was like when I talked about it last week, I said there was one part of the second movie that I'm really glad I saw in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
It was that part.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Will really liked that part. His favorite part is when they do the little shootout with him and Common.
Yeah, I liked that part a
Yeah.
lot. That was probably my favorite part, was him and Common just chasing each other around.
So, I assume Common's dead, but he didn't really die because he kept the knife in him. But I assume he died after that.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope he comes back in the fourth movie somehow.
That would be really funny.
That'd be so funny.
I want them to be bros.
They're not. No.
I want it.
I don't think they are. So
I need John Wick to have a bro.
I thought this movie was almost the perfect sequel.
Mm-hmm.
The action scenes were better. Again,
Well, according to all the statistics, it is kind of the perfect sequel.
Yeah. The action scenes were significantly cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Like they tried a lot more. They had a bigger budget, obviously.
Yeah.
It felt more like a kung fu movie, and I guess the jujitsu thing that you mentioned before kind of played into that. But this was the movie, like, when I watched this, I was like, they need to make this a game. Kind of like the opposite of The Last of Us.
Yeah.
And they did make a game, but
What do
it's
you
like a
mean?
turn-based game.
What do you
like
mean?
The Last of Us?
Yeah, The Last of Us would make an amazing game.
Oh, yeah, it would.
Yeah. What do you mean the opposite?
Well, like, everyone saw or played The Last of Us, and they're like, let's make a TV show. But this is like, I'm watching John Wick, but like, I'd really like to like play as John Wick.
I feel so. Going back to the conversation about Yakuza,
Yeah.
since I am just playing on story mode, basically, I do feel like, wow, this would have made like a great like period drama type thing.
Yeah.
Because it takes place in like the late 1800s.
Oh, Lauren, well then you should just watch Seven Samurai.
Maybe.
It's 3 hours long.
Fuck yeah.
Maybe 4 hours. It's really long.
It sounds exactly.
I have
like
it
my kind of
right
movie.
down there.
Oh wow.
It's black and white. It's a Akira Kurosawa
Oh,
movie.
I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should watch that.
We should watch that. One of the coolest movies ever, just
Yeah.
because it's like vibes.
Vibes. Nothing but vibes.
It's all vibes. But yeah, and there is a game, but I think it's like a turn-based kind of game, where like kind of like, you know what Super Hot is, where like it's like slow, and I think it's kind of like that. I haven't played it, but I think it would be really cool to have like an Uncharted like action game.
You know what I want?
With John Wick. What?
I want like a Telltale game.
Oh yeah, that'd be
where
cool.
where your actions actually matter.
Yeah.
Which apparently, just picking up on conversations, I'm going to talk about Hogwarts for a second.
Oh boy.
Picking up on conversations that I've
boy.
seen about Hogwarts that people in another server of Discord have been talking about.
Which one?
The Discus server.
Oh, Isha Gaming Discord?
Isha Gaming Discord.
Okay.
Apparently, your good and bad choices do matter.
They do?
Apparently, they do.
Oh, great.
Because they were talking about, like, I want to go back and pick all the evil choices. And I'm like, so it...
But do they matter, though? Like, or do you just pick them?
I think it matters. I think it's like an invisible system.
I don't know.
But anyway, I would love, like, a John Wick action Telltale type game.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Choose your own adventure, John Wick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
anything else?
That's all I have on John Wick 2.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Next weekend we'll watch the third one.
Yeah.
I'll do a significant amount of research on the third one. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff going into that one, because that was when they were like, well, now we like know that people love this shit. So,
yeah.
So yeah.
People ate it up last time.
Okay. Let's go ahead and talk about our
Well, don't you want to talk about...
What?
What's the thing we say? What's the thing we started to say? Would you give it a good screen?
Oh, yeah. Would you consider this to be a good screen?
Yeah.
I would consider it to be a good screen, especially in the movie theater.
I mean, you especially do. I thought it was Good.
Okay.
I didn't think it was great.
I think it's great screen. Especially in the movie theater, if they ever like run all these movies back to back, like when the last one comes out.
Oh, that would be fun.
I would love to see this one again, in particular, in the movie theater.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Well, I mean, it does pick up like a week after the first one is when this one seems to start.
Pretty much right after it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Lauren, what is your screenless shout out this week? We'll just abruptly switch gears to our last segment. It's been a pretty wild week.
Yeah, I had a really crazy week at work.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about that.
You probably can't.
You're right, I can't. HIPAA.
Yeah.
My screenless shout out this week is I guess just good support systems.
Good support systems, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
It came in handy this week.
Yeah, it's always good to have people around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your screenless shout out, Russell?
My screenless shout out this week is my car.
Your car.
I went a day, well, technically 2 mornings, like 3 trips to work. I had to walk to work this week.
Yeah, because your car was in for inspection.
Yeah, well, I didn't have to walk. There was a rental car available for, not a rental car, but like a borrow car from the, I was like, nah, I live so close to my work. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, it just, like, it was nice walking to work.
Okay.
But of course, like, takes more time.
Yeah.
Takes about a half hour to get to work on foot. Mm-hmm. And the second day was really windy and cold. And I was like, I'm really glad
maybe if this happened in spring, maybe a few weeks later.
If it was like April when I did it, I would have been.
Then you would have been way too out of inspection.
Yeah.
You're inching your way there.
Yeah, I'm trying to get there. Like, my car was inspected. I used to get my car inspected in the beginning of November, like on the dot, the first week of November. And then my mechanic retired. Yeah. And then I stopped having like a reoccurring appointment, and I couldn't find a mechanic that I really liked. So, like, eventually, like 2 years later, it became me getting my car inspected in December. And I really didn't like that because, like, who knows, like, Pennsylvania.
You're already in winter, yeah.
Yeah, first of all, Pennsylvania, you have to get your car inspected every year. It's part of the state Department of Transportation.
Yeah, but I appreciate it, honestly.
I like it too, but, you know, there are a lot of surprises. So, like, when I was
well, it's better that you learn about it then than when it's
when it actually is a big problem. Yeah. So around that time, I was commuting a lot. So, like, I would always have something go. I feel like I needed tires like every fucking year.
Yeah.
And then my brakes went one year, and yeah, it was just like.
Well, cars require a lot of maintenance.
But I was eventually, like, it got to be January. And I was like, I don't like having, like, my car inspected. That's still too close to Christmas. So, like, I'm trying to inch it up to, like, June.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of like, I like having mine in the summer because I bought my car in summer.
Yeah.
So, and it was also inspected right before I bought it.
Yeah.
So mine is in the middle of summer in July. And I like it because it is so far away from all the other holidays, so I know I'll have money.
So, like, if you get a surprise, like, if you had to pay, like, $500, you'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean, I also... just my car is in the garage currently. We have to go pick it up today because I had to
we still had to do that.
I had a nail in my tire.
Yeah.
And that was not cheap. But they did fix my radio for free.
That's true. Your radio was like falling out.
Yeah, my radio that I have in my car is like an aftermarket radio. Like the previous owner installed it. And like 4 or 5 months ago, something about the bracket, it just slipped.
Just slipped out.
And so it's been falling into my dash slowly. So
and they fixed that.
I asked them if they had the time, if they wouldn't mind fixing it, and if not, it's no big deal because it's not killing. It
was probably super simple, but we didn't have the right tools.
We didn't have the tools. Yeah. It probably only took.
I might fix that this weekend. Might get a little like mechanic set of tools.
We need a tire pump.
Sure.
I don't know, just in case.
Yeah.
But also, I need to get myself. I don't have a jack.
You don't have a jack?
I don't have a jack. Didn't come with my car.
Oh, that's weird.
I need a jack, and I need one of those big wrenches.
Tire iron?
Mm-hmm. Because when I ripped my tire to shreds 2 years ago, we had to wait for a random stranger to help us.
That's funny. Well, anyway, so my screenless shout-out is my car, because the inspection was okay.
Okay.
There was nothing that it wouldn't pass inspection.
That's
I needed
good.
an oil change, and they just did that well. But
Yeah.
that doesn't require an inspection. Like, you can get your car inspected, and it'll pass without that, which is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And I cleaned it out, and it's a new inspection.
Yeah,
and
we cleaned our cars last
we
weekend.
cleaned out our cars, and it's just feeling good again to drive my car around. I feel like just any next couple, for the last few years, I felt like it's the end of the road for my car. It's kind of older.
You say that every year, and it keeps going.
Every year, I'm like, this might be it.
Especially now, you're only driving a mile to work.
Yeah, a mile and a half to work. So I'm just delaying it even more. It's at 170,000 miles.
Sheesh. I think my car's at 85,000 right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When I hit 200,000, I want to have a party in my car.
Yeah, everyone's invited to our party in Russell's car.
So, yeah, my screenless shout-out is my mode of transportation, my little car. We have a combination shout-out this week.
We do. We have a big shout-out to our dear friend, Will Party.
Will Party.
Will Party. You beautiful man.
Our friend Will Party went on a vacation this week. And I don't know if he's still... Scotland?
I think he's still there.
He's probably still there. So I'm hoping... I kind of want to get this edited early so that he can listen on his way home.
Mm-hmm.
Or not. I don't...
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever. He went on a vacation to Scotland. And
he
proposed to his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. And we have known about this for months.
We have.
I have been waiting on bated breath for this trip.
All week long.
I think we learned about it in October.
Oh, it was a while ago.
It was a long time ago, at least in October.
No, it was earlier than that. It was last May.
Oh my God. I have been waiting for this trip for so long because I've been so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm very excited for them.
Yeah. Soon to be Brooke Party.
Brooke Party.
Wow.
Yeah, and they also got that house, so now they're very happy.
Yeah.
Happy little family.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, congratulations to both of you.
Yay.
Hope you make it home from Scotland.
Stop, don't say that.
Knocking safely?
On wood. Yes.
Not hope you make it home. I don't know. They're going over an ocean.
Okay,
hope you have a safe travel home.
Safe travels.
Is that not a bad thing to say? Is that a bad thing to say? Have a safe travel home?
Safe travels is better than hope you make it home.
I was going to say, hope you have a safe flight home.
That's better.
Okay. And we can't wait to see you guys again.
Yes. I'm so excited to celebrate with you guys.
Yeah. So that's pretty much, I think that's a good way to wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
I hope Will Party wants to play pickleball with me.
Yeah, spring's coming. We're going to play pickleball.
Yeah, I'm going to try.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I think that's a good way to wrap up the podcast this week. Next week, we'll be back with John Wick 3. So if you want to support our podcast, you can follow us on Twitter.
At the Good Screen
I don't think that's supporting our podcast. No, hold on. Let me rephrase this. If you would like to support our podcast, you can rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcast or Spotify. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube and like our YouTube videos. It really helps. By the way, I did check. We don't have any new comments.
Aw, no emails either?
Leave us no new emails. Leave us a comment on YouTube and you'll be featured on our next episode of The Good Screen.
Yeah, or send us an email at goodscreenpod@gmail.com and we will feature your email.
We never get any emails other than from Will.
Other than Will Party. Send us an email.
Send us an email on your thoughts about John Wick 2.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally 3. I'd like to have emails about the current thing that we're watching. I don't know why we keep telling people to talk about the last thing.
Yeah, so next week we're talking about John Wick 3. Tell us what you thought about John Wick 3.
Tell us what you thought about John Wick 3 or else we'll never do another podcast again.
Never, ever.
Okay, so thank you everybody for listening this week and we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.